Alrighty, team. I hope you're excited. There is some big news and some big changes coming up next week. What we have been doing is classically we go out of 10. Make sure this feels like a 7 out of 10. Make sure this feels like a 9 out of 10. That's hard to actually know and to figure out. Does this feel like this out of 10? What's a 10 out of 10? Anyway, we move then on to reps in reserve. Now, this just allows us a more accurate representation of what you perceive how heavy that weight feels, how hard that you're going. So we've had 7 reps in reserve, 5 reps in reserve. We're starting to get heavier. We're going to 4 reps in reserve, and then there'll be 2 reps in reserve in that final week. It's still hard to perceive and figure out, do I have that many reps in reserve? So we're going to help you. Next week, in week 3, we test how many reps in reserve you actually have. So what's going to happen is you've got 6 reps to do on your main lift. You'll leave 4 reps in the tank. And so you'll go through your sets and you're going, okay, I'm squatting with this weight. I'm going to finish at 6, but it feels like my absolute limit would be 10. We're going to go through your rounds as normal, but then the final bit of time we have for the last set on the main strength block is we test. You go for it. You keep doing reps until you figure out, well, what is your max? The beauty of it is what's going to happen. For some people, you might absolutely nail it. You do your 10th rep, you're screaming, trying to get up, and that's your final rep, and you're like, I'm done. I could not do an 11th. Good job. You had the right weight for all those working sets. But what might happen is you try and keep going, and you get to 8, and then you fail. Well, what that shows you is good job. You're actually going like really heavy in those sets before, maybe a little bit too heavy. This will give you a good idea for the following week. And maybe you keep it going, you get to 10, you go, okay, this is hard, but I can keep going. You do an 11th, you do a 12th, you do a 13th, and you keep going, then that shows you went probably a bit too light for 4 reps in reserve. And so that's what we're going for. So for next week, what we're going to do is we're going to set the block of time as normal. You go through your sets. You're doing 4 rounds of 6 reps with 4 reps in the tank. Then we're going to reset the clock, and it's going to turn into a mini testing week. Everybody's going to go really hard and heavy on the main lift. What that means is we want everybody to be safe. So we're going to have spotters. We're going to make sure everybody feels good. And you're going to keep going and keep going and keep going. You're still going to keep the tempo. We're going to figure out how many reps you have. Now, for that block of time, you do not have to test. And particularly, like if you're super tired, you're just not feeling it, the body doesn't quite feel right, that's not a smart time to test out that rep max. What I'd suggest, if you're feeling you can do it, you might do 6 and you might try for 7 or 8. Get in there a little bit, test it out a little bit, gives you a better idea of where you're at. You don't have to actually maximally rep it out. And particularly if you're just uncomfortable about doing that, it's a bit of a new movement for you, you definitely don't have to test. And also, if something's not feeling right, if you're doing squats, your hips feeling a bit tight or something, don't test. We don't want to get you injured. But if you can, we want to have people helping out with spotting and just keeping the energy up, shouting at people, really pushing the limits. And so that'll give everybody a really good indication of where they're at for reps in reserve and help us for the following week and through the blocks of programming, how everything should feel for you, and hopefully get us better results. So I hope I can see you on Monday. It's going to be a big week. It's going to be exciting.